Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again, and it's Friday. Yesterday's practice, we had a couple of people come back, but we're really thin at defensive line right now for the Dallas Cowboys. Zach Martin with his knee, his hyperextended knee that he injured in the game. He came back on a limited basis for Thursday's practice. Malik Collins, which is always good to see him playing or doing something. He came back on a limited basis. Tyron Smith had back spasms on Wednesday, so they kind of kept him out on Wednesday for precautionary reasons, kind of like how we did with Tony Romo on his Wednesdays, his non-practice days. So those three were back in practice, but a whole slate of defensive linemen and ends out still. David Irving still dealing with his ankle, his high ankle sprain. Daniel Ross hurt himself in pregame warmups, and it was funny because I was like, how come I didn't see him play? It was like the report came out he wasn't on the injury report before the game, but he injured his calf in pregame warmups. I've never seen that before, but that was crazy. Taco Charlton still dealing with his shoulder deal. Antoine Woods, he had a concussion in the game. I didn't even hear about it until way after the fact, but they got to go through that whole percussion. I'm sorry, I'm an instrumentalist, so you got to go through that whole concussion protocol before you are able to come back to play. And I'm glad that they do that because a lot of people are suffering with CTE after they leave the league, and these people having brain injuries and things of that nature. So I understand the whole protocol. It's not like back in the day where you get hit and on the sideline they look at you and be like, how many fingers am I holding up? Two, you good? And then you get right back in the game. But you can't do that anymore, which is a good thing. Player safety is by all means the most important thing, because you got to look at long term. These guys have wives and kids and stuff that they have to go home to, and they want to be able to function with their family. Tavon Austin, we already know he's still dealing with that groin. I wish they would just go ahead and put him on an IR. He's not going to play again this year, in my opinion. I mean, his groin is to the point where they were talking about meat was off the bone, and I don't even want to go there, but that's what the word was. Kind of like what those of you that remember when we had Theo Ratliff back in the day, that injury that he sustained when he kept saying that there was meat torn off the bone in his groin, but then he left the Cowboys and went and played the next week with the Bears, and I'm like, okay, so we know you were BSing. But Sean Lee, well, we already know, hamstring Lee, he's still out. But again, this linebacker core that we have right now, they seem to be doing well, and I'm loving what I'm seeing with the young guys right now, because it's a young man's game, and if you can't stay healthy, you can't keep up. But I do love Sean's impact as far as a player coach and what he does on the sideline with these players. And he travels every game because of that, because he's well respected, and I can live with that. So yesterday also, too, the Cowboys worked out free agent defensive end Tank Carradine. Those of you that probably remember him, he played his first 4 years in the league with the San Francisco 49ers. And then last year he was with the Raiders, and he just got released from the Raiders last month. He was on the street, and he worked out with the Cowboys yesterday. Still no word if they actually signed him. They also brought back Aziz, how do you say his last name? Aziz Shitu. He was with the Cowboys, I think, during training camp. They released him when he was on the practice squad, and then the Eagles picked him up, and he was on their practice squad, and so we went back and poached him off of their practice squad. So now he's back with the Cowboys. So they're making these moves because all the defensive linemen injuries and stuff right now, because they're kind of thin at defensive line. So they're just trying to figure out some places to put these people, and I haven't normally, because they're traveling tomorrow, so and they did that walkthrough today, so if there's anybody getting moved up, we would have heard about it today or maybe early tomorrow before they leave. But you know, when moves happen, of course, we report it and let you guys know. With me, with the way my schedule is, I'm probably a little bit late on it. But, hey, you still get my perspective on things. But that's all I got for right now, y'all. So with that being said, it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.